Alrighty, and we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to the Megan Moose channel. We are here for another live stream. So over the weekend, I was thinking about, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know, a while ago, I did these Disney Discussion Livestreams. And over the weekend, I was thinking about how I love talking about Disney so much, and I don't know why I don't talk about it more. And so I decided I wanted to bring these live streams back. So to do this, I wanted to bring my friends from the Our Paradise Falls on for a live stream tonight. We have Brittany and Jeff from the Our Paradise Falls channel. Hey guys.
Everybody.
So tonight we're going to be talking about a different topic. We're going to be talking about how to plan a Disney vacation if you don't, or a Disney trip if you don't live local to the park. So I'm really excited about this because we've got our friends from the Our Paradise Falls channel. They don't live super local to the park. So I'm really excited to see how they plan their trips and what kind of tips they can give us. So like I said, hey, Brittany and Jeff, thanks so much for tuning in tonight and for being here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, actually. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to have you on and everything. So thanks for everyone joining us tonight, or if you're watching the replay, let us know in the chat if you are here. And if you have any questions throughout the stream, feel free to add them in the chat and we will ask our guests here. So as we get on into it, do you guys want to give an intro to your channel and maybe a little bit of an intro to your guys yourself?
Sure. Yeah, so our channel pretty much at Our Paradise Falls, we do pretty much Disney family content. We take our son Connor up a lot with us to Disney World. But it's not just Disney. I mean, we've been to, where have we been? So many different places.
We've been to Clearwater.
Yeah, we've been to Clearwater Beach. We did the Marine Aquarium over there with Winter the Dolphin, if you've ever seen the movie Dolphin Tale.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the Brevard Zoo. Which is in Melbourne. We plan on going to the Miami Frost Museum, which we actually went during, which hurricane was it?
It was Hurricane Dorian?
Dorian, yeah. So we went during Hurricane Dorian, but we weren't vlogging at that time. So we want to definitely go down there and check out the museum and vlog that. But yeah, just a lot of family stuff. We do, sometimes we'll do movie reviews. We go to our mall 45 minutes south of us in Sunrise, has a character warehouse. So we do that quite a lot. And that's pretty much it. So pretty much just family Disney content.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's great. Yeah, I love that. And I know one thing that I love is definitely seeing those character warehouse hauls that you guys do, because it's great. I can vicariously live through you and your purchases, because I know if I lived closer to one, I know there's one in Orlando, but if I had one super close to me, it would definitely be very dangerous. So
yeah, I think that's what most people like a lot about those warehouse hauls is they're like, oh, I want to go and spend money, but I don't want to spend any of our money. I like watching you spend your money.
Exactly. There you go. That's perfect. Yes. So yeah, if anybody's watching, down below, I have the link to their channel so you can go follow them on all their socials. But getting into it, I just have a list of questions here that we're going to ask our guests. And then, like I said, if anybody has any questions, put them in the chat and we can ask them. So to get started, I wanted to ask when and why you guys started visiting Disney World. And before we get into it, maybe if you didn't already touch on it, where you guys live now, just to give the viewers a reference for where you guys are located at.
So we currently live in West Lake Worth, which is right on the outskirts of Wellington. So technically,
just say West Palm Beach.
I was just saying like West Palm Beach.
So we live in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's about an hour north of Miami and about maybe an hour south of Port St. Lucie. So we're like right in the middle of those two big counties. So yeah, we're about 2.5 hours south. If you take the turnpike, we're about 2.5 hours south. If you take 95 and then go across, then we're about 3 hours away. Gotcha.
Nice. Yeah. So like I said, not super, you're still living in Florida, but still not super local to the parks and everything. But yeah, so a little bit of why did you guys get started going to Disney World, or what was your first trip like, or what made you to get the Disney obsession that I know that I've gotten?
So I first went to Disney when I was maybe 3 or 4. Brittany, it's pretty much the same for you, right? How many times did you go to Disney when you were a kid?
So we went every spring break, or not spring break, I'm sorry, Christmas vacation, because spring break we would go up north to Ohio. But we would, me and my brother, we would go with my parents up, and we would stay a couple days, but not as much as we stay now. Of course, Jeff and I with Connor. But
when we first went as a family, I believe we got, what was it, the 3-day pass,
3-day
right?
pass for Christmas.
So we got a 3-day pass, and Connor had to have been...
He was 2.
2. Yeah, he was a
Wow.
baby. He was teeny tiny. So we went and did that, and then we actually we only used 2 of those days. Then we went back to use the 3rd day. We added, at the time, you could add on an additional day for like, I don't know, $50 or something like that.
Yep.
So we did an additional 2-day, and we went with some friends at the time who were pass holders, and they're like, you guys should really sign up for annual pass. And they were like, the whole trip, they were like, you got to sign up for annual pass. There's this benefit, this benefit, this benefit. Not that trip, but the following trip, we went up actually to Orlando for something that had nothing to do with going to Disney. But that's when we actually went to Animal Kingdom, Brittany and I, and we all signed up for annual passes. So
Gotcha.
that was in 2015, right? So we've been pass holders since 2015.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And that kind of goes into the next question that I have here is, how often do you guys usually visit the parks? Because I know you have the annual passes, so it definitely makes it a lot easier to be able to go and visit them.
In our eyes, once we go and do a trip and then try to recoup from that trip to save up for the next one, I think realistically, to make the annual pass worth it, we try to go every 2 to 3 months.
Oh, okay. Yep. Gotcha. Yeah, I know you said, we talked about it before, you guys usually try to plan around birthdays. Is that what you guys do, or try to do that?
Birthdays, holidays, anniversaries. Like, we try to stay away from holiday weekends only because they're a little busier than normal. But typically we'll go up for, although recently we've been doing 7 days for his 7th birthday. So of course Connor now expects us to go 8 days for his 8th birthday. So,
Yep.
But
it's tough with Brittany's job because she's a teacher. So, and you know, we usually try to go on like 3-day weekends and things like that. It's tough for her to get out of work. When we first really started going to Disney, like as an annual pass, it would be like a weekend thing, or it'd be like Memorial Day weekend, or like maybe Labor Day weekend or something like that. Recently, we've been trying to now go during the week because I guess we just love how the crowds are during the week, which there's no crowd. Yep. So going during the week is a lot better than going on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. No, I get that and stuff. I know the park hours are a little bit better now, but whenever they had changed it to when the parks would close at like 5 or something, like I always like to try to go, after work or something. But so it's gotten a little bit easier with that. But I know that definitely, during the weeks are a really great time to be able to go and visit.
Back when the park hours were pretty much from sun up to sundown, we used to have a really unique system. So when Connor was really small, we would get on our weekend trips, we would drive up either that Friday or Saturday morning. And this was before we were staying on Disney property. We would drive up, let's say we were going from Saturday to Monday. We would drive up Saturday morning. We would leave at like 4 a.m. from West Palm. We'd get on the turnpike and go. I have pictures of us parking in Magic Kingdom parking lot. We're the only car in there. The first car and the only car. The only other cars in there were the cast member cars, but we're the only one. And then we would go get like breakfast at the Poly or something like that. And we would go from about, I don't know, let's say the park opened at 8. We would go from 8 to noon, then leave, go check into our hotel, then go back from like 5 to park close, because you pretty much you miss that noon to like 5 p.m. window. So those peak hours of the park, you're missing that. So early in the morning, we get to go on all the rides. And then later on in the evening, like around 10 o'clock, the park's dead at that time. Yep. Or everyone's watching fireworks. So we're constantly like Big Thunder Mountain, just like on repeat, just constantly riding it because everyone's watching fireworks. So
yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, we can't do that system anymore.
Yep, I gotcha. Yeah, and I know that like I've even been starting to think about it because going during the summer is obviously pretty hot. So I've been thinking about either going during the morning, going till lunch and then going home, or going in the evening to kind of beat even the summer heat and stuff. So do you guys ever try to make summer trips, or how do you usually, do you go to the summer at all?
When we first got annual passes, Connor at the time didn't need an annual pass because up into 2 or 3.
It was 3, and he was small, so we kind of we took advantage of
we took advantage for a little bit with him with his height, as far as not getting him in. But when we first started with annual passes, we were me and Brittany were platinum, and then I think since we've been platinum, we've actually downgraded to silver. So we have 2 silvers, and Connor has the gold gold one. And the only reason why he has gold is so that way we have the photo pass. We didn't feel that it was worth the money for all three of us having photo pass. You do get extra or not as much blackout dates, but so right now we have to go Memorial Day weekend because June and July our annual passes are blacked out, which is great because like you just said about your summer question, we went 4th of July 2 years ago. We spent more time in the pool than we did at the park. It was brutal. And we were just like, you know, next year I think we're going to downgrade to silver, and that's what we did. And honestly, we've enjoyed it.
And that was without masks.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, I know. I just went, the last time I was at the parks, I think was for the Star Wars day. And for whatever reason, it was so hot that afternoon. I ended up leaving early because of how hot it was. I was like, oh, I was not prepared for this. So yeah, it definitely gets warm during the summer and stuff. But when I first got my pass, I think I had the silver as well. And so I was like, oh, I won't need the summers or whatnot and stuff. But then, you know, I got my little Disney bug and everything. And I really did want the photo pass system because I do think it is a huge perk being able to have that and stuff. So that's what made me upgrade at least. So
So one of our first vlogs, and it wasn't even a vlog. I was just filming. I didn't even know we were going to put it up on YouTube or anything. And I was shooting off the GoPro, so the footage was absolutely atrocious. But I mean, you could still make out and see what's going on. We were trying to get back to Splash Mountain. We had just gotten there. It was July 3rd. So it wasn't even 4th of July yet. It was July 3rd. But Magic Kingdom does their fireworks on July 3rd and July 4th. The wall of people coming out of Casey's trying to get over to where Crystal Palace is to get back over to Adventureland, there was a sea of people. And like even on the GoPro, you could see how many people were in there. Like, talk about like pre-COVID. This was such pre-COVID like crowd because I was like, I had people just like we were like sardines pretty much. So but again, now that we don't have those summer issues anymore, we don't even have to worry about going to the parks or anything.
Exactly. And I know, you know, now that we have the reservation system, like that kind of even gives a little bit of an indication on what the parks will be looking like during the time. So I'm already like clicking on and being like, oh, okay, this week's already starting to get yellow. Like the summers are definitely coming. Summer vacations are back. So
it's crazy though, because when we were booking just now for our Memorial Day trip, everything was yellow. And then I think about 3 or 4 days ago when they upped the capacity, everything went green. Now everything's back to yellow. I'm like, oh man, we're in trouble.
I know.
I looked at her, I'm like, yeah, they upped it to green, then back to yellow. You know there's a bunch of more people going in there. But the only problem I have with that is if you're upping capacity, then fast passes should be coming back or extra magic hours if you're staying at a hotel, I think.
Well, and I wonder, this is getting a little bit off topic, but I do like that discussion because I wonder if fast passes would make a comeback because since they're like decreasing the social distancing, they might be able to open up the fast pass lanes again because a lot of the line has to go through the fast pass line, you know, just to make space and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we start to see those changes again. But yeah, it definitely is like a bittersweet thing. I'm like, oh, I want more, you know, more park availability to make more trips. But then I'm like, oh, that means more people and, you know, wait times and stuff. So it definitely is like a double-edged sword there.
Right.
But yeah, I think you, in the next question here, I think you guys already kind of talked about it, but I wanted to know how long you usually stay at Disney whenever you make your trips. I think you talked about like you try to visit for holidays or around birthdays, but how do you decide if you want to take a week vacation or just a little mini weekend vacation? How do you guys usually handle that?
It honestly depends on what's going on. I know Jeff kind of dabbled with it a little bit. Recently, we've talked about more doing just hit and miss trips, only because we know that summer is coming and our passes were getting ready to expire. There's some other things that are going on as well. So it's kind of a hit and miss thing of when we go. The last trip when we went for Connor's birthday, we went for 7 days. When we went up for my birthday, I think we stayed 5 days, right? 5?
In March.
Yeah, in March. And that was 5. Spring break as well.
Well, yeah, so we went did we go to the whole week of spring break or no? Or
we went the week after spring break, but it was still spring break.
But did we? Yeah, we went for like 4 or 5 days.
I think it was 5 days.
Okay, so when Brittany, so just starting on this year alone, when Brittany and I went up for our anniversary, we went up for 3 days. 3 days. So immediately after, that was in February. So then we went in March because, we can't go on a solo trip, just Brittany and I, without Connor being there.
Yeah.
So immediately after, we had to book like a 5-day stay with Connor. So that's what we did there for spring break. And it was great because Connor was out of school, so he didn't have to miss any school. This trip coming up was kind of really like, I'm like, hey, our passes are blacking out for the summer. Do you want to go to Disney?
And I also have Monday, Memorial Day off. And
Nice.
I was able to leave work early on the Friday. So it just made sense. And I was able to get the following Tuesday off.
So we were actually going to go potentially this weekend to avoid the Memorial Day crowd. But her, what did you have at your job?
I have a PDD meeting.
Yeah. So she had stuff going on to where we couldn't like negotiate it. I own my own business. So if I need off, I take off. So
yeah, pretty flexible. Yeah.
It's easy. It's easier now for me.
Not everybody has that advantage.
I know.
So we don't really, in November, around the 26th, that's my birthday. So my birthday is always like on before or after Thanksgiving. So in years past, we usually try to go up for we'll go up for Thanksgiving and stay, for the weekend and then come back that Monday or Tuesday. So roughly we'll usually try to take I would say at least a 3-day minimum trip, if not 1 or 2 days on top of it.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, definitely. I think that is a good little balance just to get your dose of Disney throughout the year and everything. I like that. And so speaking of when you go on your trips and stuff, I'd be interested to hear, how do you usually stay on property when you go up, or where do you guys usually stay hotel wise when you visit?
When we first started going to Disney, I still am, but I am a choice. Well, I was a choice member. So choice hotels are like Quality Inns and Hampton Inns. No, not Hampton. Quality Inn. Where are some of the other?
Quality Inn, La Quinta.
No, not La Quinta either.
La Quinta. It was along those lines.
We'll go with Quality Inn. We'll go with that. I was a choice member, and at the time of the company I was working for, when I would travel, the points I would gain from my traveling, they would allow for personal use. So at that time, all of our Disney hotel trips were free.
Oh, wow.
So we weren't paying for any hotels because I accumulated so many points from traveling all over the country. All of our hotel visits were free. So that in itself paid for having to stay at those hotels. The only con with that is obviously you're not on site. So you don't get to experience the extra magic hours. This is all pre-COVID too. You don't get to experience extra magic hours. You don't get to experience like the luxury of staying at a Disney hotel. Since I've started my business, I think we've seen obviously the benefits of being on site now. So even if we don't stay at like a Disney like main hotel, I'm also a Hilton member as well. There's 3 or 4 hotels around Disney Springs that are Hilton hotels. So the great thing with that is you could stay at those hotels, you can gain points, and I can also use those points towards free nights. So essentially, you're staying at a Disney hotel, you're also gaining points, and you can also obtain free nights as well. So the main Disney properties don't do that. So no matter how many times you stay there, you can never accumulate any points from staying at a main Disney hotel.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's interesting you say that. I never really thought about it, but that would be, of course, Disney probably wouldn't do it, but it would be kind of nice or interesting if they did do some type of point, like reward system,
Right.
But they don't really have to, I guess. But yeah, it is nice that they have the other options on property.
Marriott too. If you're a Marriott member, the Swan and Dolphin are Marriott hotels. So if you book through the Marriott, you can also the same thing, gain points and everything, free nights, free stays from being a Marriott member. I didn't realize this when I just booked we're staying at one of the Disney Springs Hiltons. They're doing a 3 times bonus night offer right now. So we're staying for 5 nights and I'm getting triple points every night.
Nice. Wow, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think I remember maybe it was Brittany's birthday weekend when you guys came, you guys were talking about like some deal packages or whatnot when you were booking. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because you guys know I am pretty local, so I don't usually stay on property, so I don't really know how the booking process works or like how you decide on a hotel. So I'd be interested to hear that if you have any information on it.
When we were booking Caribbean Beach, we What hotel were we originally looking at, or was it always Caribbean?
We were looking at Art of Animation.
Okay.
It was Art of Animation.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So I think, we were just looking at a sky. We were really looking at the Riviera. We were trying to book the Riviera at a good price, and unfortunately, it just wasn't hitting our budget. Well, budget's another thing, but it just wasn't hitting our budget. So we decided to go with the Caribbean Beach, and we got a preferred room. And I really don't know what, because we were talking to a Disney rep over the phone. I don't know what package we booked, because when we got to the hotel, they're like, oh, here's like free mini golf and stuff, or here's free Wide World of Sports, but they weren't open at the time. I don't think they still are. So I still don't know what that package is that we booked.
So I can say that when looking on the app for a Disney reservation, there's like 3 different options.
This is good to know too.
There's 3 different options you can choose for a room. You could do a room without a discount, an AP discount, and then there's also a Florida resident discount. So there's different openings for each discount or non-discount if you do that. So the room for the Caribbean was actually cheaper with a non-discount than it was with an annual pass discount.
Huh. Okay.
So there's different, and even when I was looking for this spur of the moment trip that we're going on, it was cheaper to stay at Art of Animation with the Florida resident discount than it was with the annual pass discount. Now, I'm not talking it was a huge difference between the two. I think it was like $27, but it's still weird how the prices range with the different discounts.
Yep.
So usually when we call, if we're trying to book a hotel with a cast member, we'll call and we'll ask them, can you give us the different discounted rates? Because like Brittany was just saying, annual pass, Florida resident, and no discount. Like sometimes you'll find really great deals with no discount compared to trying to book that annual pass or Florida resident discount. I guess they only hold select rooms for certain quantities of discounts, or whatever the case is. And so Caribbean Beach, we didn't even use our annual pass discount for it.
Wow, that's interesting. So would you say like the best bet when booking would be to look on the app, or to call Disney in general, or what would you say?
I personally would say call. When we did book our trip in February, when we went up for our anniversary, I booked that through the app, right?
You booked it through the app.
So I don't think I called. I think I called to extend the night, and luckily they had an additional night. But I was online, I was browsing for our anniversary trip, and I saw Yacht Club, and it was sitting there at like a great rate. It was like what, $200 a night?
Wow, yeah.
Oh, it was $250 a night, and I'm just like, it's kind of, not that it's out of our budget, but it's still kind of pricey for a hotel for just Brittany and I. But I'm like, it's kind of not a once in a lifetime trip, but I'm like, it's our anniversary. Let's spend it somewhere like romantic. I think we were trying to do, we could have done the Riviera, but that was, I think, over $4 a night. And the only problem with Riviera was it was a studio room with a queen.
Gotcha.
We got a king bed, so. Gotcha.
Yeah, and we are getting some comments here. Gonzo wants to know if you guys have ever thought about joining the DVC, the Disney Vacation Club.
Well, of course we've thought about it.
We're trying to get a house we're actually in the process of trying to get a home, and some DVC things are what the price of a small home. Yeah. So if you can invest in DVC, absolutely. We actually have friends who just finished paying off their DVC, so they're absolutely looking forward to that. But yes, if you can invest in DVC and it's for life, so obviously it would pass down to Connor and his family eventually. So absolutely. But I think our goal right now is to get our own home, and then maybe you would eventually invest in DVC. But yeah, it's 100%. If we had the extra income, I would definitely do it.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah. And I know our friends are on the Two Broke Mice channel, they're DVC members. And so they know all about that. So anytime, if I ever go down that road, or if you guys are thinking about it, they definitely have a lot of info about it. So
I know my home hotel. I know which one I would pick.
Okay. Which one? I think I know, but which one?
Megan, which one do you think?
Would it be the Riviera?
It would.
Yep. I don't blame you. I mean, mine would be Yeah, mine would be the Riviera or I haven't really ever been to the Polynesian, but for some reason I just am drawn to the Polynesian. Like it's probably the bungalows is what it is, but I'd have to I couldn't
before the
afford it.
Riviera was built, it was definitely the Polynesian. Like that was, I was like, if we ever dabble with DVC, that is definitely our home resort.
As far as quality restaurants, where it's not just the main restaurants, but even the quick service restaurants.
Yeah,
the Polynesian food is spot on, from Captain Cook's, from Trader Sam's, which is like amazing, from Ohana and Kona. Their restaurants are on point. I mean, just to get that selection, like you'll go to different hotels and be like, oh, this restaurant is really great, but their quick service is mediocre. Polynesian's on point with all their food across the board, all the restaurants. Yeah,
like I said, I still need to. I did a little bit of resort hopping and stuff, but I need to check out like the monorail loop resorts a little bit more. So Polynesian is definitely on that one.
You just got to do a monorail bar crawl one night.
Well, I've heard all about that. My sister actually sent me this TikTok. It was like a bachelorette party bar or monorail bar crawl, and I thought it was so funny. So yeah, we'll have to see. But Michelle here said, she brought up a good point. She said the reward when staying on property is, well, she personally doesn't have to rent a car. So definitely if you're flying in, I definitely get that. Using Disney transportation, everything is definitely a plus, I would say. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'd be curious though if she felt the same way when Magical Express goes away. Because I mean, Magical Express goes for, I don't know what, Orlando's airport, I don't know what it's called. But that's how people get, unless you take an Uber or a Lyft, which I think is pretty expensive getting from the airport to Disney property. But I think when Magical Express does eventually go away, I'd be curious if she feels the same way.
So I like the transportation on site, but from our most recent trip, we actually we ended up driving like my truck that we drove up in most of the days, because when we were waiting for a bus for Animal Kingdom, 4 buses went by before we got, I don't even know if an Animal Kingdom one showed up because we went to, but we took the truck, but 4 Magic Kingdom buses went by before we got an Animal Kingdom bus. And we're like,
we gotta go.
Yeah, like, is our bus coming? Like, we want to get there early before, the lines get too long. So it's hit or miss with Disney transportation. Sometimes it's like, it's perfect. And other times it's like, oh my God, I wish I had my car here right now. Luckily, we do have that advantage. And the great thing about where we stayed at Caribbean Beach, literally my truck where I parked it was like 2 feet away from one of the bus stops. So I ran up to the hotel room, I grabbed my keys, and I'm like, all right, let's go. So
yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I know that it is definitely nice having a car, because I know like my sister was down here with some friends a little bit ago, and we were able to go and get groceries for them. So it is nice being able to kind of go off property and get food if you needed to, which kind of goes into a question that I have a little bit later. So we'll maybe save that. But one question that I wanted to go back when it comes to booking hotels is, how do you guys decide which resort or which hotel you want to stay at? Like, do you have like a checklist, like a Disney hotel bucket list, like, oh, let's try to focus on this one? Or do you just try to go for good deals? What do you guys how do you handle that?
Most of the time we usually do good deals first. That was definitely when we stayed at the Yacht Club. That was a phenomenal deal. So it was almost too good to pass up. More recently, we have fallen in love with the Skyliner. So more recently, we've been trying to book a Skyliner hotel. So obviously Art, Pop, Caribbean Beach, Riviera, and technically you could book a Boardwalk hotel. It's a little bit of a farther walk than those other hotels that I mentioned, but you could book Yacht, Beach, or the Boardwalk. You can even book Swan and Dolphin, even though it's not technically a Skyliner hotel. The Swan and Dolphins, actually, if you're walking from the Dolphin to the Epcot Transportation Center for the Skyliner, that's the farthest walk. We actually did that when we stayed at the Swan. And I'm like, next time we're staying at actually a Skyliner hotel, or we're staying at the Yacht Club. But yeah, the Yacht Club's not that bad of a walk, but usually, best deals first.
Best deals.
Best deals or Skyliner is how we usually like to book it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And ever since I think doing like my resort hopping day with you guys and then just being with my sister like a couple of days ago or weeks ago, whatever. The Skyliner, it's actually very useful. Like I actually have really started to enjoy the Skyliner, and I haven't even really stayed on property or anything. I just find it so useful.
So I'm hoping they eventually one day will just make a Skyliner to like even Magic, or a Skyliner to Animal, or if they just put Skyliner bridges pretty much all over the place. Like when they were building it, like we heard, oh man, they're not going to have AC in there. They're not going to have this. I'm like, oh man, that's going to be crazy. And then that one report came out when they first initially opened. I think it was like the weekend after, those people got stuck in the pods for like 4 hours straight. Wow. So it was like, I'm like, man, but when you actually ride it, it's essentially, it's a ride in its own. It's like, it's kind of like the attraction before you get to ride the attractions at one of the park, but we love it. I love riding that thing. Brittany's not a big fan of it, but
I was gonna say you love it. I'm not a huge fan of
Brittany loves riding Rock and Roller Coaster, but she can't ride the Skyliner.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Michelle here, she was saying that Publix delivers grocery, which I didn't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I didn't really even know, but she says she was doing grocery delivery before, or when it wasn't cool.
So I was going to go back to her other question. She has said, why was Magical Express going away? I think because it just wasn't needed as much. Although if you ever look at the pictures of the people that are waiting for it, I guess the wait for it is like 3 hours long sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures on Facebook of even just renting a car at Orlando International, but it's like what, 3 miles deep?
It's pretty rough.
It's pretty long. So
yeah, I think it'll be interesting when when it goes away and all that goes down and stuff. Because I know they like the train, I don't know what it's called, but the train's going to be going in and Disney's going to have a stop there. But I think somebody said that you have to get off at Disney Springs and then take a transportation. So it'll just be interesting to see how that all works out, I guess.
We just need to get to the Jetsons era and like just have a flying car,
There you go.
Like teleportation or something,
Yeah, honestly, I know. Yeah, hey, I'm ready for that. Yep. Just teleport everywhere. But yeah, so we can go kind of a little bit more into the food side of things. I'm interested, how do you usually plan out your meals when you're at the park? Do you bring any food? Do you usually try to just eat on property? How does that usually work out?
When Connor was little, we would bring breakfast to the park with us, granola bars, snacks, and stuff like that. Now it's kind of like free game. I mean, if he wants a pretzel, he gets a pretzel. He wants popcorn, he gets popcorn. Sit-down meals, we typically skip breakfast, or we'll stop on our way, depending on where we're staying, of course. And then lunch, we either check what's open in the app, or we have a meal that Jeff has decided on booking us.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we used to kind of have a better system when Connor was small. When we had our own little routine, we had a better system. And when we were going up and having those choice points, a lot of I didn't really feel at the time that the hotel was a major factor of us enjoying our fun, because this money we were saving in hotel, we were obviously using for more restaurants and more experiences and more merchandise and things like that. But now it's kind of like, if we see a restaurant that we like that's open, we go.
Gotcha.
If Oka Cantina is opened, if it's open 3 nights in a row, I'm going. I don't care. So I hate to say it, but we don't, when it comes to good, obviously there's better or worse restaurants. Like if we're going through the app and that restaurant is there, we'll try it, we're just like, no, we won't do it. But if one of our favorites is there, we'll try to book it. And I try to have a routine of what we're going to do and when we're going to eat and things like that. But yeah, it's sometimes I'll just get lucky. We'll be just walking not our most recent trip, but our holiday trip last year. We were walking around. We were going to actually exit Magic Kingdom and go get quick service at one of the Magic Kingdom resorts. And we were able to book the Plaza at 2 o'clock. So we didn't, we had to wait a half hour for it, but I'm like, oh, sweet. There, we don't even have to leave the park now. We can just hang out and eat at the Plaza. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Would you guys ever think about doing a grocery delivery type thing? Or are you guys usually pretty good with just hanging out, eating at the parks and stuff?
I think it's tough because we never have a hotel where we can have groceries.
Yeah.
Obviously, in a standard Disney room, you're getting a little mini fridge that you can hold maybe 2 meals tops in. We usually bring up a cooler with us, but that's packed full of Gatorade and water.
Gotcha.
And maybe some tea, just to keep us hydrated or to have drinks in the room. But as far as doing any delivery service, no, if we're gonna do delivery service, we're just gonna go down to the quick stop or the
lobby.
Yeah, like the lobby and get quick service there. But it's gonna be interesting though, because I don't know if the Hilton is gonna have anything like that.
No, but we could always Uber Eats something to the hotel.
Yeah, or Uber Eats. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, and now we'll get into a question, which I'm curious to hear the answer. I think I've heard it before, but let's talk budgeting. So, do you guys? I'll ask the direct question here. Do you ever try to budget for your trips?
We've tried one time.
And how did it? Talk me through the process. How did this go?
So I came up with the idea. I was like, let's take out cash this time. Let's take out this amount of money.
I think we took out like $500.
Yeah, it was like $500.
Once the $500 is up, we're not swiping credit cards.
That didn't happen.
Well, we spent that $500 in like what, a day and a half?
A day and a half. It was done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those credit cards immediately came out. So that's like the biggest thing is how do you budget for Disney? Us personally, we really don't. I mean, we always go over on every trip. I don't think there's ever been a trip where we're like, oh, we went under this trip. Yay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure there's people out there who can budget very well for it, but I kind of feel like, we're there, we're having fun. And obviously we don't just go and spend a bunch of money on random merchandise and everything like that. I mean, everything does have a limit. When we're at Olga's Cantina, there is no limit.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just, we're having fun. Brittany's enjoying her time. I'm enjoying my time. Obviously, Connor's enjoying his time. So there's really not a budget with us.
I would say that I think there's a couple things that we do factor in. Like the one time that the boys wanted to build a lightsaber and Connor wanted to make his R2-D2. We knew that was going to happen. So yes, we did know that there had to be a certain amount of money that was left so that the boys could do that. If there's a lounge fly that I really want, I'm like, okay, well, can I get this lounge fly or can I get this Vera Bradley? Like, it's kind of like a weighing system. But usually, I mean, we're pretty easygoing with our budget.
But honestly, though, the most money we do spend on, and it's not, when we go up there, like if I find a really cool pin or an exclusive pin, I'll get it, or a pop. Or like on our most recent trip, Brittany got a lounge fly for her birthday. But I don't go get lounge flies for her up there left and right because honestly, the better lounge flies are not in Disney. They're all like in like the exclusive retailers and stuff. The ones that you see in Disney are just like I waited 3 hours for a lounge fly for our one time from box lunch. It ended up being up in Disney. I was like, oh my God, I could have, But yeah, usually the exclusive ones are not in Disney. But we spend a lot of our money on Connor. So when you have kids, my parents, I was spoiled rotten when I was a kid. Brittany was the same way. So when we go up, I make sure Connor has a good time. So
definitely no. And that's going to get into my second question, but I did want to ask you guys about like when you go up and like merch and things like you were talking about, like, do you usually, because I know we all follow Disney on our social medias. Do you guys see like, oh, this is the lightsaber that I want, I'm going to stick it out and wait till I go on my trip? Or how do you guys usually try to get like different merchandise when you're up there, or how does that usually work? Do you try to be a little bit better some trips or never?
So the Galaxy's Edge just released their Darksaber lightsaber, their like exclusive model for Batu. And I saw it, I'm like, oh, wow, it looks really cool. But in a few months, I pre-ordered the Black Series Darksaber that looks amazing. So it's kind of like, do I want to get the Disney one or do I want to hold out and just get the Black Series one? I still think I'm going to hold out and get the Black Series one because it looks 10 times better than the Disney one. But it's tough because usually when I see merch, it's more of like an online thing. Like if I see something, it's online for that day and I have to get it right then and there or pre-order it. But when we ever go to the parks, I think in most recent memory, the only thing I've ever seen at the parks I had to have was the electronic DJ Rex. That was a Bluetooth speaker as well. So DJ Rex makes noise, he moves, he can play music out of him. I saw that in the window. I'm like, I have to have that. Like, I went through like 6 managers before I got one because that store was closed at the time. But yeah, I don't think I ever really go up to Disney and say, unless I see a cool pin or like a pin of the month or something, and I'm like, oh my God, that pin's amazing, I need to have it. But yeah, no, I'm just, yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
He is not patient with waiting for things. If he sees something, he just buys it.
Gotcha.
So I will say the honest thing.
Yep.
But
I gotcha.
I see things and I'm like, oh, that would be really nice to have. But I'm typically not one to be like, I have to have it.
Yeah.
And even he's like, don't you want it? And I'm like, well, yeah, I want it, but I don't have to have it. Like, you know, those kind of things. But I guess we're pretty easygoing with that.
A friend of mine told me a while ago, he's like, if you see something in the store, just buy it because you don't know if it's going to be there a second time. And there's been plenty of stuff that she's passed up on. So the Carl Nelly New York Comic Con Loungefly that I got her for Christmas, we had a chance to get it. And she's like, no, just wait for it. Then it didn't double in price, but it
went pretty high.
It went pretty high for what I paid for an average Loungefly bag is what, $75, $80. And I think I paid like $140 for it. So, I mean, that's kind of pushing it, but now it's like over $200. So like the longer you wait on this collectible stuff, it skyrockets in price. I mean, God only knows. I think that new Pirates of the Caribbean pop that I just got, I think it retails at I think like 40. But obviously if you're past you get the 10% discount. But that thing's selling for over $60. So if you don't live in Orlando or if you don't live at Springs or can go to Disney World, you're paying and if it's sold out on Shop Disney, you're paying a retail a scalper's price for it, and it's crazy. So
yep, I gotcha. Yeah, definitely. No, that's kind of a good thing to keep in mind and stuff. So yeah, I know me personally, it's like sometimes I don't even like walk through the Emporium or the shops or anything, especially all you guys know my Haunted Mansion shop. I just don't even just don't go in there sometimes. So
listen, we went in there the last time and we were in there for a solid 30 minutes because I'm just going, wow, I didn't even know that was there. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was there either.
We didn't go Haunted Mansion for a long time because Connor got really scared on that ride. But now since, he's a big boy and he can do Rock and Roller Coaster and he's the man of Disney, I'm like, all right, well, since you can do Rock and we can go back. Like I've always loved Haunted Mansion, but I'm like, all right, we're going back on Haunted Mansion. And yeah, we went inside the shop and I'm like, that's where we saw the Dooney and Burke magic bands. And I'm like, it's not like I needed to have that. I'm like, that's a cool collectible piece because if something ever happens with the ride, now, well, I got a magic band of it now. Or if they ever change it, because now all these Disney rides are changing. So it's kind of like, I'll give you an example. It's like the Splash Mountain Funko Pops. How many times did we see those Funko Pops on the shelf?
So many times.
Yep.
I walk by them and they're just sitting there. I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. It's like a $40 pop.
Yep.
I know. Well, thank God I had a buddy of mine who was really nice and he sold it to me for $60. But people were selling those things for over $200 because, well, the ride's going away. Now it's like a big collectible. So yeah, that's why if I see little stuff like that now, I'm like, especially the Funko Pops, I'll buy it because you don't know if the ride's ever going to change or something's going to happen with it. So
that's actually a good way to think about it because I know a lot of times I kind of pass things up. I'm like, oh, we'll wait till there's something I absolutely want. And I know last fall, some people that are watching might remember, but I wanted the Haunted Mansion Crocs so bad, but I was like, no, I don't want to spend. I think it was I don't even know what they were, $50 or $60. I was like, no, it's fine. But now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It was just a fun, I love the Haunted Mansion. It's just a fun little thing that, I could have. And like you said, if the ride changes or whatnot and stuff. So I don't know if they come back this fall, you might be seeing them whenever.
Did you ever get one of those Dooney and Burke magic bands?
What'd you say?
Did you ever get one of those Dooney and Burke magic bands?
I didn't end up getting those. I know I was just thinking about, I didn't know if they were doing away with the magic band stuff. So that's why I that's why I don't usually buy magic bands, but I think I read somewhere that they're still keeping the system and everything. They are trying to go to mobile, but so that's why, I might start doing magic bands and stuff, but I was kind of holding out for a little bit.
even like if they ever do away with Magic Bands, so if you own any, like we still have our Magic Band ones. I think we still have our ones from like one of our original stays at the resort. Again, if they ever do away with it, that's a collectible item right there.
Yep.
Because you'll never, because eventually they'll just, what's that, like push out or like like the Magic Bands that we see in like Character Warehouse and stuff. Eventually they'll phase all those out. So it will be like, oh, what was sitting there for 3 years I could have gotten, and now I can't even. Oh no, wait, it's on eBay for $100.
Yep. Good point. Yeah, no, it's a different way to think about it. So now I might be going into the parks with a different perspective.
So we were looking at that Dooney and Burke Magic Band, and because we haven't been to Magic Kingdom in a while, so I don't know if they're still there. So I was just curious. I was like, let me look online and see what it's selling for. $80 plus. What
do they retail or Disney price?
I think 58, 50. I think it's a little bit more expensive because it's got that Dooney and Burke name on it. Even though it's the same Magic Band. But yeah, I would say $50 on the low end.
Gotcha.
Well, obviously, then I think we had 30% off. We had 30% off at the time, so we even got it at a better price.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, might have to do some more searching when I go back now. But okay, yeah, Two Broke Mice, they hopped in here. They asked a question we asked earlier: how often do you guys go? And I think Brittany mentioned every 2 to 3 months.
Yep.
And the next question that I wanted to ask you guys was, how do you guys usually like to spend your time at the park? I know I really liked what you said. It's all about Connor, Connor's memories and stuff like that. But what do you guys usually like to do? Or are there any things you like to prioritize? How do you like to spend your time there?
If we go to Animal, it's Everest. It's always Everest first.
Yes.
If we go to Hollywood Studios, if we get Rise early enough, it will be Rise, and then we'll try to get to everything else. But unfortunately, with how busy Hollywood has been, it's like we get on Rise, and then everything is an hour and a half plus sometimes. So it's kind of like...
we'll get some Blue Milk, Green Milk.
Yeah, we'll get Blue Milk, chill, hang out. We'll go ride Mania, because Mania is usually like a 50-minute or less wait. And then we'll come back, obviously, in the evening, and we'll try to get Slinky Dog. Like, I love Slinky Dog, but sometimes that ride is just like, it's crazy, especially in the heat. And we actually waited for it when it first opened, and there was no awnings there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That was brutal.
Wow. Yep.
I think we prioritize the rides more than anything because of Connor. Now, when Jeff and I were there, we did Epcot, which we usually don't do with Connor because it's kind of boring for Connor to visit, the World Showcase. He could give two whats about the World Showcase. And that's a lot of walking for his little legs. So,
Magic, I would say if we get there early enough, we'll try to get Seven Dwarfs right there in the beginning or in the morning, because I think we've rope dropped Magic a couple times and we've waited maybe 20 minutes tops for Mine Train, if not less than that. One time was like a walk-on. It was great though. One time we were in Magic and it was around 1 o'clock. We happened to come by Seven Dwarfs. It was actually closed and they had just opened it, so it was a literal walk-on. It was at 1 o'clock, and I'm like, that never happens at 1 o'clock. You're never walking on Seven Dwarfs. So I would say Seven Dwarfs first. If Seven Dwarfs is busy, I think we always gravitate towards Adventureland first, because when I was a kid, we always did Pirates first and then did everything else. So I think I kind of kept that tradition with our family now. We go and do Pirates first, then do everything else. And yeah, Epcot is just kind of like, we go and do Test Track, and I'm like, oh, you want to go grab a beer?
Yeah, exactly.
So... because I do like Soarin', but it's meh. I don't know. I don't have to ride that. Hopefully once now the better rides just coming in, like Guardians and stuff, will kind of like, oh yeah, we watch. It's so easy to get an Epcot reservation right now, but when Guardians opens up, that thing's going to be and Ratatouille, that thing's going to be out for months.
Yep. Yeah. Before they announced the like talking about Ratatouille, before they were announcing the opening date of it, I was like, should I just have random weekends of Epcot booked just in case they decide to open? Because like you said, I know as soon as they open, it's going to be booked up. Everybody's going to want to ride that ride. No, it's never booked up until that ride opens, but luckily we have a release or like an opening date. So I actually know when I can go.
We got lucky. And right now, I don't have one for Connor because I wasn't sure if we were going to take him or not. But right now, Brittany and I have opening day of Ratatouille and the reservation system. So, but we didn't realize that the 50th anniversary of Magic is also on the same day.
Monday. Yep.
So we're kind of like, I don't know what Disney was thinking, booking those two things on the same day, but hey, more power to them. And
Animal and Hollywood are going to be dead.
Honestly,
no,
though,
never dead. Give me a break. Hollywood's
I know. Yeah, it's just going to be poor Animal Kingdom. It's just going to be all the people that don't know what's going on.
Yeah, freaking whatchamacallit, Hollywood's not going to be dead for a long time. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think I have a reservation for October 1st too for Epcot. So hopefully we'll see if I can get over there and stuff to check it out because I'm super stoked for that ride and stuff.
But I heard that they're gonna have Magic Kingdom's gonna have like exclusive merch for that day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not in there that day, and for whatever reason, Disney doesn't limit their merch, like they don't do like 2 per customer or 2 per family. So if I wanted like 35 of the special pins, I can go and buy 35 of them. Like it's just, I wish Disney would limit the amount that you can purchase at one time.
Oh, that's interesting. That's funny that they don't do like, limit 2 per person or whatnot, but maybe I don't know. That's interesting. They don't do that. I didn't know that.
Obviously there's people who break that system. So I could be standing next to Brittany and even if they did two per person, they'd be like, oh, are you together? I'd be like, no, I don't know her. So technically we could do 4.
Yeah,
there's still ways around it, but at least they should have some kind of limitation on it. But like it's when Madame Leota, the Funko Pop, the glow in the dark one was dropped, people were like walked out with like cases of her bags full of pops, and then they were all on eBay for $100.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah, 2 broke mice hearsay. Yeah, Disney really needs to limit. I didn't realize that. I guess it makes sense because we saw, when Splash Mountain store opened or whatnot, like all the people were walking out with a bunch of the plushes and stuff. So I get that. Yeah.
Well, even like the new WandaVision pins. So I was able to get the sword pin, but the little TV one that says WandaVision on it, gone.
Oh,
like
wow.
Maybe 3 days tops.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, people would just went in. You know how they stick all the pins on the little racks? Somebody just went in with like a whole handful and just pulled the whole rack off.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh my, yeah, just crazy. Oh gosh. Do you guys usually, like you were mentioning like the lightsaber like building and like the droid building and stuff, do you guys ever try to do like any of the event, I guess that's not necessarily event, but any of like the add-on things, like whether it's after hours when they did have them, or like you said, the droid and stuff, or they did have tours. Did you guys ever do any of that? Maybe we're talking pre-COVID now, maybe.
So pre-COVID, no. We the only thing that we did one dessert party, and it was only because we knew a manager, and she's like, "Oh, come on, let's go." We didn't even go to the desserts. We just got the fireworks spot for the Star Wars.
For the Star Wars show, she hooked us up with a really good spot,
and it was for Connor. So she knew Connor, she loves Connor, so it was kind of like, let's go. So we just snuck in, and we were able to see that. We haven't done any tours. I would love when it comes back, the kingdom of the
Keys
of the Kingdom tour.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really great. If anybody has done it that's watching, please email us because I would love to know more.
Yeah.
Or write it in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But nothing of it along those lines, except for the Christmas party. We did the Christmas party once.
In 2017, I think.
Connor was little. So
the Christmas party, from what I can remember, was cool. I think at the Christmas party they gave out tea, hot chocolate, and cookies. But it was only one cookie. It was, I think, a sugar cookie, and you got it at each station. The year or years after, they started doing like a gingerbread cookie, then a sugar cookie, so they would have a different kind of variety instead of just getting that one sugar cookie. I think the coolest thing that we got to do there was obviously the wait times are a lot shorter. We met Jack Skellington in his Christmas attire, which was awesome. So you get to meet those special characters.
Yep.
But those in itself are really long. Sometimes those waits are even longer than the rides because it's kind of and we also saw the 7 Dwarfs as well. We got all 7 of them for the Christmas party. So that was cool too. But yeah, the character waits are sometimes longer than the rides itself. So we've never done the Halloween party. We're hoping to maybe do it this year because we have some really cool costume ideas. But and I think I've always wanted to do like an after hours thing just because, you know, of being able to go on like Seven Dwarfs and waiting a true 5 minute for it. So it would be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know, like you said, Brittany, like before pre-COVID and everything, after I got my pass, I love the behind the scenes thing. So I was so wanting to do that Keys to the Kingdom tour. And then I think like when I was like planning on booking it or whatnot is when, you know, everything went down, the park shut down and they didn't have it anymore. I was like, oh, so I'm still just waiting. But yeah, and I was hoping to do Mickey's Not So Scary in the fall, but that obviously didn't happen. So I'll be interested to see how Boo Bash is and stuff. I think I was really hoping for the parade because I wanted to see the Haunted Mansion float and stuff in it, but we'll see what they decide to do this year, I guess.
That's always been like a hot topic too. What do people prefer? Do they prefer the Christmas party or Mickey's Not So Scary? Like it's always been like 50-50 on like things like, actually I would say though, it sounds cooler to be at the Halloween party than it does the Christmas party, especially the candy and everything. And you get,
there's no other time at Disney than Christmas time at Disney. What are you talking about?
But you don't get Lotso on Christmas. You get Lotso on Halloween. I would love to meet Lotso.
Oh, yeah.
But I would. But you get Jack Skellington, just
not in Santa.
Not in Santa. But I want to go up to Lotso and see if he smells like strawberries.
I love it. Yeah. So we'll have to see if I'm hoping to go in the fall, but we'll see and stuff. So, but yeah, I think that is almost done with my questions. I just wanted to ask if there's anything that you guys particularly look forward to when heading back to the parks. Is it just being able to get back and get your dose of Disney, or is there anything that like a must-do thing that you guys need to do?
Are we gonna get a special appearance from someone?
Oh, are we gonna get the special guest? The extra special guest?
Special guest.
Come here.
You know me, Connor.
Hi.
Hey, Connor.
We have
How are you doing?
Our special guest here, Connor.
Say hi. Hi.
Everyone, this is Connor. He is also internet famous. He blew up their channel, so.
So when we go back to Disney, what do you look forward to the most when we go back? Like it could be a ride, it could be a hotel. Like what do you look forward to the most?
I look forward to going Rock and Roller Coaster 3 times.
Rock and Roller Coaster 3 times?
I was gonna say Everest, but that's right. I forgot that you're a newfound lover of Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yes.
We just can't film on Well, Daddy doesn't ride Rock and Roller Coaster, so I don't know if Mommy's ever brave enough to film.
They won't let you.
Oh, they won't let you.
You can't have your phone out. I'd have to have the strap with the GoPro, and I'm not even sure you can do that.
Gotcha.
I'm sure you can because there's POVs of people riding.
I don't know. They told me to put my phone away, so.
Well, you might have to like put it away, and when you go around the bend, take it out or something.
Maybe.
What about anything else besides rocking?
Do you look forward to anything else?
Is there any Disney snack that you like have to have when you go to the park?
I don't really know what like. I don't even know if there's like that much snacks because most of the stuff has chocolate.
And he's allergic to chocolate, so.
Oh man. What about the pools, Connor? I know you're a big swimmer.
What pool do you like?
Caribbean Beach Pool.
Why do you like
That's a pretty cool pool.
Because they have the cool slides.
He likes
the slides are pretty neat. I agree, Connor.
You
yeah.
like Disney?
I look forward to.
When we go in 2 weeks, what are you looking forward to do?
I look forward to going Everest like 10 times too.
Everest on 10.
There you go. There's your answer.
I was waiting for it.
Everest 10 times on Everest for 10 times in a row. Daddy gets a headache.
I did it before.
I know, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the Everest.
My head's already starting to hurt just thinking of
You're
riding
thinking
Everest
about it.
10 times in a row.
Yep. I love it. That's great. Anything that you guys look forward to, Brittany and Jeff?
Honestly, because down here in West Palm, there's really not a whole lot to do. So, I mean, even though we go and we pretty much, it's a vacation for us, but it's almost not a vacation because we're doing so much work to move around the parks and going on the attractions and trying to get everything done in one day.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy most, like, we'll pick a day. We try to like do it in the middle where we just stay at the hotel and go swimming, or, you know, go in the pool, or just relax, or like do this, you know, skyline hopping. Even that, even though, I mean, we got to walk throughout the hotels, but you can stop and hang out in the lobbies because, you know, they don't check, and I don't think they really care because you're spending money there anyway.
Yeah.
Or we could go get food, or, you know, we could go out to the bars that are there as well. So I think I enjoy that the most, just like having that one peaceful relaxation day, because I think, you know, right away when people think of Disney, they're like, oh, there's rides and it's like go, 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 and you're never stopping. And I just enjoy that one, like, you know, that kind of like the serenity of it, just being there and enjoying the scenery and things like that. So I think that's what I look forward to the most.
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to the People Mover.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Out of everything, the People Mover. Oh,
well, it's been so long since we've been able to ride
I know.
Seriously.
It's
That
so
ride
funny
in
to
itself
me.
is relaxation. Like, I wish they could just like, I wish like during fireworks, we could just be like the one time we're on Dumbo, where we're just like, hey, can you send us around again?
Just
send us around like 100 times. And then like, if they served alcohol on it, that would be great. Or like food, you know, it would be kind of cool.
They should do the, what is it, dessert and fireworks on the monorail. They should just make that a thing.
That would be like a disaster waiting to happen. There's so or
quick turns.
Yeah. There goes my cupcake. You know, there goes my great stuff. Oh, my beer, it's gone. You know.
Yep. So. Exactly.
I do miss one thing on the People Mover though. So when you're going by that one section where you're going on to Space Mountain and the other cars coming off. Like, I like miss holding out my hand and giving people high fives as the other cars go by. So, yeah. I'm
waiting to see Space Mountain when it's light, like we're going through and having all the lights on. That's what I want to see.
I've seen it one time.
One time, okay.
You got to go on it one time with the lights on?
Yeah, not on it, but through the People Mover.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I think everyone in their lifetime has seen it with the lights on the People Mover. Yeah.
I'm waiting for my chance.
It's like a hamster cage. It really is. It's like, it's really crazy. There used to be like an old ride at, it's kind of like the old Primeval World, but it was like a little car. It's called like a Mousetrap. I think it was at Busch Gardens. It reminds me of that, where there's like bars everywhere. And that's why I feel like when I'm riding it, I feel like my head's going to get cut off, because it's literally a couple feet above you is the freaking metal to the ride. And it's just like, I'm like this the whole time. I'm like, please get me off this ride.
Exactly. Oh, well, good. Well, yeah, thanks for that finishes my question. I think we come to the end of our show here. So thank you everyone for watching, and thank you Brittany, Jeff, and Connor for being our guests tonight. I really appreciate your input, and I'm excited for whenever I have to plan a Disney trip or vacation. I'm going to have all of this knowledge, and it's going to be really good. So thank you guys for your time tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, everyone that's watching, I linked their info in the chat, or not in the chat, sorry, in the description. So go ahead and check them out afterwards. And we will see you guys in the next Disney Discussion live stream. So see you guys.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.